Hey, Muffin here. I want to give a special shout out to Blitzwing SM for putting this vid together. He actually invited one of our staff members, Garion. Super awesome. Thank you so much for helping with this. And they did it on all their own. I actually didn't have much involvement with this. Blitzwing SM actually picked one of the subscriber requests, which was the Doom Turtle versus the Doom box, and decided to make the announcement, work with Garion to get the room together and put together the scenario. So thank you guys for being so awesome. So the Doom Turtle and the Doom box. This one actually quite interesting. The Doom box, the reason why it's known as that is because at tier 6 has a devastating battleship cannon, 130 millimeter, with its premium ammo doing more damage than the standard round. It will take a chunk of your life away. Doom Turtle almost goes without saying. The tank just looks like a turtle. I mean, just looking at the thing, it's super slow. T95 definitely not known for its speed. And this thing, completely stock, I would have to say, is hands down the worst tank to play in the game. Probably right in line with maybe a fully stock KV2. But this is probably the worst tank to play when it's fully stock. I feel so bad for some players coming into some tanks for the first time, getting them new in the tech tree as they're grinding and working their way through. And the T95 is one of those that you just have to have pity on. I will see players sometimes, not very often, with a stock T95. And sometimes I will maybe just go a little easy on them. They are already in a very rough position just with the controls and trying to drive around, that I may just be like, you know what, he's probably having a bad enough day. I'm gonna go look for some other targets. So now the differences between these two tanks and putting them up against each other is you've got the Doom box that's got better maneuverability, has absolutely no armor. I mean, even for its rank, excuse me, that's War Thunder. Even for its tier, at tier 6, it doesn't really have a lot of armor. You can bounce some, but not a lot. And using that maneuverability is going to be pretty key. Now, the Doom box was one of my very first premium tanks I had ever gotten. And I think, well, as of I think maybe a couple months ago, I'd been playing this game for almost 7 years now, and had the SU-100y almost the whole time. And it was probably the tank I had the most amount of games played in it up until like maybe a couple months back or something like that. So I really, really enjoyed it. The T95, being that it's so slow, both of these are support tanks. You can't really, I mean, the T95, it does have decent armor. It used to have better armor. And then they weakened the cupola and I think some other aspects of the tank. And then it didn't make it as good. This tank, honestly, I think this tank needs a buff in its frontal armor. If you're going to be this slow and this, I don't know, just like this slow, have a lot of disadvantages, at least give this thing some good frontal armor. Tier 10's not going to have a hard time penetrating this thing from the front, especially with premium ammunition. Honestly, it's the only thing the T95 has going for it. Now this map, being in the town, the city, it's actually quite good for the T95. One of the key maneuvers with the T95 is to not get Circle of Death outflanked or whatever, you can back up, use the buildings as protection so that people can't go around you, and it's a really good setup. These doom boxes trying to pick their positions carefully. When doing the challenges, I normally like to try and see, even if it's a lower tier versus a higher tier, I always like to try and make sure it's balanced, fun for the subs, fun for you guys. Obviously, when doing 3 tier 9s versus 3 tier 6s, we know who's going to win, right? So when we do the higher tiers versus the lower tiers, we'll typically do like, just like in my last video, how it was, we tried 1 Jagdpanzer 100 versus like 7 Jagdpanzer tier 6 tanks. Super random question. I don't know why I had this pop in my head, but does that song Inka Binka Bottle of Ink still exist? I know that was something around when I was a kid. That's not necessarily what I was just singing right now, but I am just curious if any of you guys remember that, or if that is even still around, or if that just really goes to show how old I am. Alright, so back to the game. Now, if anyone wants to help with these vids, more than welcome. Join the Discord, get the movie crew roll. I'm starting to do War Thunder vids as well with some of these cool scenarios. Stay tuned, become part of the movie crew roll. You guys are awesome. Just got to inch along with those T95s. I remember how much the Doombox was feared back in the day. I don't know if it's as feared. Now, the Doombox came out before the KV2, and I remember at the beginning of every match, people would say, oh, Doombox, kill that first, watch out. A lot of it, I think, is now KV2. I think the KV2 has really stolen the fame of the SU-100y. It's almost become like the second danger on the field, like the forgotten danger. If that even makes any sense. I had a subscriber request, I'm pretty sure for this map, who had asked, we kind of did something similar to it where it was having to stay on paths and roads and stuff like that, but another one that had asked to obey traffic signs and drive on the right or left, drive on the right side of the road. And yeah, I thought that was actually kind of funny. Happy Mother's Day weekend if there's any mothers watching the channel. Hopefully you guys are doing something special for your mothers today. Oof. Yeah, that 640 average damage will take you out. So anyway, Thank you so much, Blitz Wing SM and Garion, for helping putting this together. You guys are awesome. If any subscribers want to put together their own rooms and would like some help, message one of the staff members. You guys are awesome. This is the Muffineer. Stay cool and keep tanking.